It's the State Para Championships. It's the 2025 edition. This is the fourth and final day of bowling here at Kangaroo Flats. The ID pairs, they've played 2 rounds yesterday. It's their third and final round of sectional play today, and the winner of this game will take the title for 2025. Our participation coordinator at BV, Glenn Isiditis, is up here and joining me. Welcome, Glenn.
Glad to be here, Sam. It's certainly a great moment for para bowls to be on the stream for the first time. It's a big year for para bowls. First time at the Vic Open, first time being streamed just a few weeks later. Really good for the exposure of these bowlers, and a great way for them to get their opportunity in the limelight that our Facebook and YouTube streaming allows them to have.
A few familiar faces or names probably up on the screen for those that are avid bowls followers and watchers. So the lineups for today's game, or this morning's game, Jason Barrett from Heathmont is teaming up with Frank KRSLOVIC. They're currently 2 wins from 2 and sit on the top of the table. They're up against Steve Nelson from Colac, who's teaming up with Ben Peachy skipping. Benny, the ID singles runner-up this year, won the singles last year, so he's in some good form there. Currently 1 win and 1 draw. They had a draw yesterday afternoon. They actually dropped a 4 on the final end of that game. So winner takes all, unless it is a draw. That means that Jason Frank will take out the title. It's N1 of 13 ends played here. 3 bowl pairs. As you see, Benny Peachy just come down and trail the jack.
Definitely 1 to us, Frank. Definitely 1.
So draws a toucher there. You see down the other end, Stevie Nelson did have shot. Benny trails it away.
Just sliding under Steve Nelson's bowl.
Cheeky.
Now, the other person that you'll see involved in this rink is Trevor Nelson, who's Steve Nelson's father and the director for Steve Nelson. Similar to what we see in the...
Sorry, Glenn, you just hold on a sec. Benny Peachy, almost bellies the jack on the way through. Continue.
Similar to what we see with vision impaired bowlers, where you often have a director to help them set up on the mat or tell them distances or otherwise. In the ID community, where there can be communication difficulties and limitations in how well they can convey the messaging or read ahead, or maybe difficulties in things like measuring, ID bowlers are allowed to have a director alongside them. And that director can essentially do everything but put the bowl down. Can help him with calls, can communicate to the teammate up the other end. Trev has been around.
Well, if that changes things up or not. It was 2 the way of Jason and Frank, and last bowl from Benny. Not sure if it changes anything. Frank's still got 1 to come.
I reckon we got shot, Frank. I reckon you're 1 down.
And Trev has been around the para bowls community for a long time, a member of our disability support committee. And he's heavily involved, and you've just noticed there that he's also helped Jason in that situation communicate to Frank as well, saying, I think that this is who's got shot there. So
should get down and put the measure on it. So there's another game as well in this section. There's a potential. Just having a look at the shots up. Yeah, that if Aaron Gumbleton and Nick Whitford were to win over Nat Brennan and Joey Lamagno on the rink next door, they could still pin 2nd place. But neither of those teams can win the section. And then there's 2 other games as well happening, Glenny, further across Green 8 here at Kangaroo Flat. The B7, B8 singles semi-final. So there were 4 sections. All the section winners have made it through to the semi-finals this morning. Our own Joshua Thornton is taking on Ross Higgins from Shep Park. And Barry Brennan is up against Annette Ruffle in the other semi-final. Those games are 1st to 21, so we'll keep an eye on that. The winners of those 2 games will be on the final. They'll make it in the final, and that'll be live streamed shortly after this game.
like there were some cracking games in that B7A sectional yesterday as well.
There was some great games. Some games getting to a point where they're timed out. Of course, in the finals, there's no time limit, so it's all good. Don't have to worry about that, just first to 21. And then there were some games that were absolute blowouts on the scoreline that were totally unexpected. So, yeah.
A few familiar faces that we've seen across the para space for a number of years that have there's some surprise upsets in there. Some newer players that are showing early signs that are recently classified.
Morning to all those who are up bright and early, tuning in, whether from at home or maybe at work. Morning Bev, tuning in from Manangatang. This is the second time we've held the Para Champs here at Kangaroo Flat. Obviously the first time, as Glennie touched on, we've live streamed this event. Is this the first time you've been here?
No, I was down for a day last year as well. Just
so accessible, especially moving around inside the clubhouse, parking down to Sea Green that we've used as well. You won't be able to pick up on live stream, but yeah, if you've been here before, a great venue, and both A Green and Sea Green written down the bottom reign superbly. Of course, Shane, who looks after the greens here, also looking after the greens at Bendigo East, where we held our state championships a couple of weeks ago.
Already finding his way under the camera in the background a little bit.
Oh,
Lucas
have a look at him.
Knows exactly where it is. He's got the medal around his neck as well.
Does he?
Yep.
Lucas Protopapas just strolling in on his Thursday morning after a big win in the P5-6 singles yesterday. Won all 3 games in their round robin to take out the title.
I reckon he would have had a big one last night too, 4 or 5 waters.
4 or 5 waters.
Yep. Another good bowl there from Steve Nelson.
Yeah, we've got one, mate. Play this
building
hand.
ahead.
It's a draw. Jason.
A lot of players and viewers out there would know about Frank and his accomplishments, obviously getting the state title last week.
So, little story.
Yeah.
Happy to share. I don't mind either. Day one, had a bye in the singles that he won. Yep. So he's gone in and ordered his lunch a bit later on. The ladies who have done a great job here all week with the catering have asked him what he's after, and yep, no worries. So what's your name? Yeah, Frank, but some of them call me State Fours these days. So that's stuck with all week.
Yeah. So we know about Frank and his accomplishments, but he's playing with Jason, who's had a particularly good year as well. Made it through to, I need to check this, but it was either the quarters or the pairs of the Eastern Ranges. Quarters or semis.
The pairs, the quarters or semis
of the Eastern Ranges pairs competition this year, playing with Alan Kenneborough from Heathmont.
Open level, that's a fair go.
Beating some very handy sides along the way in that journey as well.
Benny Peachy, real good speed. So Steve and Benny holding one. Frank has a nice shot here on the backhand to set or trail. It's not super wide, A Green. The pace sort of around that 14 and a half mark. So
good pace
pretty
to
nice to play on, yeah. Benny on this, his backhand. Glennie, this bloke's a star for mine. He's one of my favourites. Just pinched this one after it. He had good weight, just missed both, so still a chance for Frank to sit or trail. Looks tight again, but if he's out of the way, he'll hold on a fair way. Trying hard. Oh, just misses. If it stays up at the back of the ring, that could be handy. It does, so they've got quite a few pass. They'll be aware that Frank's not afraid to play a little bit of a weighted shots, especially early on. Benny Peachy pretty smart here. He's going for a bit of cover.
Jason just calling to have a go at it, and Frank's quick on the mat to do so.
Looks wide at this time, yeah. Probably a little bit wider out of the hand. It wasn't far away. Liked the weight, so 1. And yep, consecutive ones. 2-zip after 2 to Team Nelson and Peachy. Parrett chance for 2025. This is the ID pairs. Final round winner takes out the title. What'd you find out in the end? What was the go?
So Jason skipped that pairs in Eastern Ranges, won 4 games on the way to losing in the semi-final, including a win over Eastern Ranges region side representatives from the previous year, Jeff Hill and Nifty Nev Brown.
Nifty.
So some good wins on the way there. So he's had a pretty good year. He won his section at the Vic Open in the singles as well. Got through to and won his first knockout game too, I believe. And got through to the either 128 or 164 or the 64. So has been in good touch, and that'll be a good pairing. Now in this combination, Steve at the biggest of the integrated events that we play throughout the year, the BARRETT one, which has been running 11 years now. Steve always plays with his mum Beth, who's a relatively new bowler, only been playing for a couple of years, but's been around the community for a long time. And Trev actually plays with Ben in this format, and they've won the event before. So a really good relationship between that side as well.
There you go, maybe that's a bit. Well, that's why I'm surprised to see that opening bowl. Just have a look at the scores in the B78 single semi-finals. Glennie JT leading, just picked up a 3 against Ross Higgins, 7 shots to 4. The other score, the Rick next door, leads 9 shots to 0. And the net ruffle has the mat and first bowl, so she's up against Barry Brennan 9-zip. Good start.
She's another one that's just had a spectacular year. Played the final at the Vic Open in the integrated pairs. Played alongside Tyson Cromie and lost that final to Lucas Protopapas and Sammy Atkinson. She's in the pathway Jackaroos at the moment in the para side of things. It was part of that training camp down at Traralgon that went on just before the Vic Open commenced.
Stevie with his second bowl was able to draw pretty much a resting touch up. Then Jay's trying to play a bit of extra weight. Sort of turned his own away and has gone flat out of this and just missed on the wide side. There are plenty of weighted shots playing early, Glennie.
That's one of the things that you will note in this in these events, particularly with the ID bowlers. They're really excited about playing the game, and there'll be some of our biggest stream viewers and big supporters and fans of the game, and want to try and take everything on that they can. And if they see a shot, they'll go and play it. It may not be the most conventional format and conventional way of playing the game, but geez, they get some results.
There's the Cornborough shirt, by the way. Pretty young, of course. Cornborough part of the Vic Open for 2025, one of our host clubs there, and Benny Peachy again going for a bit of coverage. I don't think I've mentioned yet, Glennie, that it is respot, and Ben Peachy has drawn pretty much right on the centre tee where it is respotted if the jack goes out of bounds. Jack won't go out of bounds with this weight. This is a long shot here from Frank. Wants the jack.
Oh, gets the jack, just
got
not
the jack.
enough of it.
Another great result. They're only the one down again. Benny Peachy has room to draw in, or any sort of contact on the shot bowl probably pops to Jason and Frank's bowls at yard or so past. Yes?
Oh, just the rink next door, Matt Brennan telling Jolo Magno, oh, just
Shot
move
man.
the mat over to the next line, and Joe with the cheeky, I'm just checking whether you're awake.
She's funny.
Joe
She's
is
a
an
funny
absolute
human.
firecracker.
Oh, so Benny does a pretty good job of getting past and splitting those up. Frank just trying to play a bit less weight and has missed the line. So this is set up not too badly again for the Nelson Peachy combination.
to see if he can just... Trev just calling same bowl for Ben. Ben with the early, not with that one.
Well, not horrific. The jack is now loaded up to potentially get all the way past if Frank plays too much speed here. Just going to play the shot just to make contact. Needs it to hold on. Very close here. This is a good shot.
Ben's position bowl.
Yeah, not sure.
I think it's going to be the blue, but...
Might be a bit of a three-way measure here. Pretty good shot.
Yeah, it was obviously the risk there. They didn't want to overplay it and spring the jack past everything to all of those well-placed bowls of Ben Peachy. Just found the loudest trucking kangaroo flat driving past.
What was that?
There will be 1-2, the Barrett and KRSLOVIC combination.
Fair shot by Frank with the last. Nice pace. Any more than that, they go multiple down, I reckon. Alright, so 2-1 after 3 ends of 13 played. As we mentioned, the winner takes out the ID pairs title. And just having a look at those singles games, it's a 7-5 lead for JT, and Barry Brennan gets himself... Well, I was going to say on the board, maybe I've got that score around the wrong way. I'll be back.
Forget the loudest truck in Bendigo. Sam will just drop his drink bottle again and medal on concrete there. As Jason Barrett stretches this end out with a very solid starter there. So I'm sure you can hear a little bit of breeze rolling through Kangaroo Flat at the moment. Of course, if you've been to Kangaroo Flat before, you'd note that around the back there's a couple of netball courts, a big football oval next door as well, so plenty of open spaces for that wind to get up and rolling. Jason trying to double the dose here. He's played another good one. Trev just having a word to Steve Nelson, giving him that direction. No doubt asking him to add the 6 feet and make sure that he can reach behind the jack. And has a much better weight here. Needs to get down to Jason's bowl. Does sit it. Likely still down, but makes it far better than it had been previously.
Good shots from the lads.
Jason with the hand change here. Bit of a surprise after 2 good ones.
Chance.
But he's changed well.
So needs to sit something. Fall back. Oh, well done. So it is Barry Brennan who is ahead. 1 shots to 4 there in that singles game.
Saying that, Annette's got 2 parked right on top of it now
Fair
after getting
game.
4 shots on the trot.
Wasn't far away with the line. Just missed the weight. Morning to Mr. Shane Hafner. Good morning to you. Great shot, Frankie, last 10. Yes, it was. No surprise for those who have seen Frank the last couple of weeks. Play those sort of shots over and over again.
I can't play that hand out. Not really.
3 to Ross Higgins, who takes the lead, 8 shots to 7. B78 single semi-final. Final to be streamed shortly after this game.
It's a good close measure for second. 30 touches, Jack, go. Over the ball.
shot here. So needs to run the trip.
Don't think it's done enough after falling out as well. Ben knows he can just beat the yellow and blue of Steve Nelson, and that will likely fall in for shot.
And that was the fourth option.
So good.
J-Lo Magno next door with Gap, oh, Jack, and that was the fourth option between the three options that she could have landed. Full gallery sitting behind us having a good laugh as well.
So there's only 4 games done this morning, but all those who have played all week have stuck around for the extra day here and have come out this morning to show some good support. Back at the head here. Benny still has a nice sort of forehand draw, which needs to miss the front poles of Frank. Looks like only one down. Sits the blue, makes a couple. Benny Peachy. This is why they pay him the big bucks.
And
What a
sits the shot hole.
shot.
Makes a couple. Be interesting to see whether Frank just draws this or tries to play a bit more weight at it. Can see both the bowls. His own on the way in is a big chance as well here.
One down.
He's got the hole
It's a stop.
and has just run by. Chance for Ben to add the third here. Stretch that lead out to 5-1. Looks a good track. Nice and safe around that bowl of Franks. It's all down to weight.
The Peachoy.
Benjamin Peachy.
Oh, yes.
3 wonderful bowls there.
Quality. Just a multiple of the game goes the way of Team Peachy. Snag a 3, and it's 5-1 after 4. Only 13 ends played. Quick games these, and it's a good start for the boys.
Absolutely. Now, some of you may be wondering what ID actually involves and how to get involved in the ID bowls community. All of our bowlers with an intellectual disability are classified through a group called Sports Inclusion Australia. Now, they measure 3 criteria to be classified. So, there's a significant impairment or in intellectual functioning, and so that needs to be 2 standard deviations below the mean. So that's an IQ score of 75 or lower is the first of those criterion. There needs to be significant limitations in adaptive behaviour. So conceptual, social, practical, adaptive skills, and an ID must be evident during the developmental period. So that means that there needs to be a diagnosis before someone was 22 years old. So plenty of bowlers out there that may not be aware of how to get involved or how to get classified in that community. The Sports Inclusion Australia website's a really good one at outlining what those criteria are and what it takes to get involved. And we've got some really handy little 2-minute YouTube videos on what each criteria means and the evidence that they require to assess how to get involved in that community. And once you've got that classification, it does open you up for all sorts of events. Multiple integrated events throughout the year. The singles event that's held at Narre Warren, obviously state championships and the Victorian Open para events. All that is required is that you be classified as a para bowler, be that paraphysical, para ID, para vision or para sensory. Steve Nelson trailing the jack nicely down there. The the other avenue for that classification side of things, if there are any further questions, you can always reach out to me. That's part of my role as participation coordinator. So glenn@bowlesvic.org.au. Send an email. You can always happy to have a chat and try and point you in the right direction. You see some of the best parts of the job, getting involved, really good community and really good days. And speaking of the Parabowls community, I've got a guest that's just entered the booth with me as Sammy stepped away. They've got a little shiny thing around their neck after happening to have won the B5-6 singles yesterday. Welcome, Lucas Protopappas.
Thanks, Glenn. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, mate. Good day.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was very good. I was a bit nervous going in as winning it last year, and I said to Mum, I just got to try and hopefully I back myself in to get the job done. And I think as I got started, things got to start moving along, and I played Michael Clark to start off with, and I've never actually played him before, so I was a bit nervy on what to do, and we got off to a good start. It was like 8-all, and then it was 10-8, and I thought, oh no, here we go.
Good bowl there from Frank KRSLOVIC, trailing it away from Steve Nelson.
Nice one from Frank, and then, got out to 12-8, and then, got a little number, and, got the lead out, which was good for me.
Just bringing up the results, you've beaten Clarkey first up, 21-12.
Yeah.
It was Michael Clark out of Ballarat North. Second game came out against Andrew Brandelin from Deer Park with a 21-10 win there.
Yes.
And then finished it off with a 21-7 win over Greg Toy, who you've played in the last couple of finals, I believe.
That's right. Yep. So
that makes it back-to-back for you?
Yes. Yep. I was, pretty stoked once I think it was quite funny because obviously we had a round robin, so we had no final pretty much, and Andrew came over to me midway through my game and he said, oh, well done, and I'm thinking, why are you saying well done for me? I'm only still like halfway through my game, and he said, no, you've won, we can't really catch you now. So once I
so the shot margin was enough.
Because I was plus 20 for the first two games. So once I finished the game off, I think I was just more relieved than anything else, and it was good. And
Glenn trying to draw a second here. On the other hand, just needs to clear Steve's bowl. It's flopped off it. It'll be interesting whether that falls into the count or not.
Well, we've got a minute. It's very nice for me to say it's Mum's birthday today, so happy birthday to Mum.
Of course, plenty of people out there know Carol Protopappas.
Yeah.
Another, as we mentioned before, Trev Nelson being part of our Disability Support Committee. Carol is an integral member of that as well. Oh, measuring a third one as well here. After Ben and Steve picked up 3 the last end, it's gone 3 straight back the other way. And we're back to a tight ball game, 4 shots to 5 after 5 ends. Of course, 13 ends of play here. And as we saw last time around, going in this direction, Jason Barrett chucking the mat down and going longer with that jack length. Now, Jason's a clubmate of yours at Heathmont, Lucas.
Sure is, yep.
We were talking before about how he had a pretty good year. He played the semis in the Eastern Rangers pairs, and he was your only loss up at the Vic Open too, I believe, in the integrated.
He was, yes. Yeah, he was. It was a bit funny playing against Jason because obviously he talks really, softly, so it's hard to communicate with him and everything. And him and Tony were just on fire. Sammy and I just were struggling there to find it, and that obviously being in a 6-end game, it was tricky to get your weight, or 8-end game actually, to get the weight right, and they were just all over it. They played really well, and thankfully Sammy and I got.
Jason played with Tony Buckingham, didn't he?
Tony Buckingham, yep, that's right. It was good. Yeah. But it was a great event, Glenn. You guys at Bowlesvic run a great tournament. I'm not just saying that because we won it, but no, it was good. It was good to get the disabilities out there and give us a good showcase. So no, it was good.
Now, Raylene Barry just asking for an update on the other matches. There's a 9-8 scoreline in the JT versus Ross Higgins game. I believe JT is the 9, and Annette Ruffle trails Barry Brennan 4-11 at this stage.
Another club member.
Don't have an indication of who's on which side of the scoreboard, but the other game in this ID section is currently sitting at 1 shot to 9.
I believe that is Natalie and Joanna.
Up the 9?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they got a 3 and a full.
Yeah, okay. So that's a 9-1 lead for them over Erin Gumbleton and Nick Whitford. Steve Nelson with the shot here at the moment. Looking to see if he can add a second. Last bowl. Oh, the shot bowl is a mat length shy. I'm not sure he's going to reach here. But we'll go at the crossover, holding the 1 shot as we stand now. So, Mum's birthday, Lucas. I've got to remember to go and say happy birthday to her later on. She does a power of work. She helped me out personally this year at an International Women's Day event at my club, and always happy to help out others and be involved in this, in the bowls community.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always that time of year that the state championships are on. It's around her birthday, so I always got to try and win something for her birthday. If not, I'll let her down. So
Frank calls for Jack, gets a piece of it. It rebounds off Steve Nelson's bowl and just trickles into the ditch. It's maybe an inch or so in bounds. Trevor Nelson's just put that ditch marker in, and yeah, it's no more than 2 or 3 inches away. Frank's probably definitely made 2 shots, maybe a third out of it as well. There are 3.5 feet. Now there is 3.5 feet of space to draw the shot though for Ben Peachy. J-Lo Magno watching the bowl on that head. Nice weight from Ben.
nice weight.
Finished outside.
Out on the full.
That widest of the chalk lines there being that boundary marker, and you can just catch the corner of the jack in the ditch from that last angle that Josh gave us. Frank now playing that open side as well. Breeze does appear to be holding bowls out there.
I played on this rink against Andrew yesterday, and yeah, I found that backhand side was very backhand on forehand for the left-handers. The way that they're playing now towards the ditch, that was it just hanging a little bit. So yeah, I tried to avoid that hand as much as I could, but yeah.
Just got an umpire's call here, sorting out the Joe picking up the ball that was about to make contact on the other rink. There was a rule change around that a couple of years ago. So they're just gaining clarity about whether Frank re-bowls it.
It's only one damn lad.
Very cold this morning. It's been beautiful the last few days actually while we've been up here. So
Yeah, saying that, I was looking at the forecast last night, going, what am I going to get up in Bendigo? It's been a bit up and down in Melbourne, and saw by the time we get to about 3 o'clock today, it's going to be 25 degrees.
Yeah.
You beauty. All before 25 mil of rain tomorrow.
oh no. Nice day for Essendon and Collingwood tomorrow, Glenn.
Yeah, I'll be there, but
Are
I have a funny feeling that I'll be seeking plenty of shelter with the forecast that there is.
Yeah.
So that bowl has been forfeited from the look of things. And Ben trying to draw here.
Oh, nearly. Wasn't far away.
No.
More his weight than anything.
Of course, There's a bit of a delay there after his first bowl was with good weight just out of bounds. I think they've both been a little bit scared off by this wind here that held the last couple of bowls out. Frank looking for another couple of feet, but won't quite get there. See the shot that is ahead of Ben Peachy. It's a better track. It's all going to come down to the pace here. He'll be in bounds. Will he stop in time for the shot?
Oh, what a great
Yes,
bowl
he
by
will.
Benny. Very good.
And it's another one to the Peachy and Nelson combination. They've had the lead throughout this match. It's just been a matter of what that margin is. 2 shots as we cross off 5 ends. No, as we cross off 6 ends, sorry.
6 ends.
We're approaching the halfway mark of this game fairly quickly. So as you can see across the screen at the moment,
13
Novice
ends, isn't
Carnival and over 60 Carnival entries are open until the 30th of April. Last year, our inaugural Carnival style event for the novices and the over 60s. Great days away. What's that? Novice Carnival up at Shepparton. The over 60s will be up at Barham.
I know there's a lot of people at Heathmont who I give a big shout out to. They're all looking forward to the over 60 carnival, I believe. I know I am because I get a week without mum. But but yeah, no, it's good to have them involved, and yeah, it'll be good. So hopefully this time mum and Nick can bring home the bacon in the mixed pairs. But
They played semis last year, or did they make the final?
I think they made the final. They lost to Gary Swan. Sorry if I got that name wrong. I think, yeah.
Of course, Nick Dorr and Heathmont as well.
Yeah.
Member of the over 60 state side.
That's right.
And an all-time human being as well.
He is, yes.
Steve Nelson with a good one here. Of course, we've seen Jason and Frank stretching it out.
Great bowl
Steve
by
shortens it
Stevie.
up. They get the umpire's measure on it. It sneaks into 21, and Steve dobs one on straight away.
Not far away as Jace, just overplayed it. We've also got a net out there from Heathmont as well. Glenn
She
and
currently trails 4-14.
4-14, yeah.
Brennan of Moama. In the other matchup, Josh Thornton leads Ross Higgins 10-8. However, they're walking down at the moment. Ross has one all of about 6 inches away in the pit right next to the jack. So that'll be another one to Ross. Jason just running through again as Steve's applied some early pressure on this rink. Let's see if he can add the third. Weight looks decent.
Good bowls there by Benny.
And Steve gets the pat on the back from his old man Trev as they walk away. Oh, Jason Barrett finding the hole. They own the back, but Frank will be stepping on the mat 3 down. Possibly 4 down if Ben puts his first one in as well.
Doesn't mind a weighted shot, Frankie, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's not shorty.
No, but it is a small target. One bowl, a 15-inch gap between the bowl and the jack.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly easy to be able to move it back to those bowls of Jason's. At this stage, it's probably just a draw shot. Ben covers nicely. Just try and get Steve off the camera when we can as Frank KRSLOVIC draws the shot. Plenty of room for him and has done so nicely.
It's been a bit, you know, with all these players not used to playing in front of the camera. So
Yeah,
it's,
of course.
yeah, you know, they're trying their best to stay out of the way, but in all, it's pretty much a final, isn't it? So
Yes. It's got to let
Great
the players
bowl
play their
here.
game as Ben PEACHEY sits
Ben
the shot
PEACHEY
bowl
plays
out,
a bomb.
touches the jack and makes 2 or 3.
got a really good core group within all of our disabilities. We all seem to get along really well, and both physical and the IDs as well. So
Yeah, it's one of those.
it's good.
One of the great things about those integrated events in particular, as Frank KRSLOVIC turns Steve Nelson's bowl in for a 4th. Trevor just helping indicate Steve where to stand, as he's helping instruct him to draw to Steve's toe. As we've discussed in the ID group, you're allowed to have a director out there, and Trevor's just helping with the communication side of things, helping with the instructions. Been a little bit hot to cover those bowls, but we'll have the tee covered. Frank asking the question, Jason throwing 3, maybe 4. There's a shot on here where he can make an 8-shot swing if he gets the jack right the way through.
Sits the
Doesn't get
ball out
jack,
for
sits the
shots.
shot bowl for 1.
Nice close game this one, which is good.
Yeah, it's what we want to watch. Yeah, we're talking about how tight the two groups are, the blending of the IDs and the paraphysicals, and with that the VI bowlers when we get them along as well.
Yep.
Of course, those integrated events see a para classified bowler playing with a bowler without disability.
It was good to see, like, at the AO, the Vic Open, that, you know, the likes of Tyson Cromie, Matt Flapper and Sammy Atkinson were all playing in it. Like, it was good to see that couple of players there integrating with us, and yeah, it was good. It was challenging, and you know, they could see what we could see, and you know, put the two together, we can make a good combination. So no, it was good to have them along, and it was good that the draw all worked out for us in the end. Yeah.
Of course. In that open format, you will see the bowlers with an intellectual disability combining up against bowlers with physical disabilities, be them the B5-6 classifications or the B7-8s. It's a format that does allow everyone to compete on the same standing. Whereas our Para-State Championships that we're playing here are a fully classified event where, other than the open pairs in the physical category, events are all played within their classification type. Jason trying to draw on the backhand here.
Not far away. Oh,
Just
nearly.
slices that jack out. Makes a little bit more room for Steve Nelson. Ben PEACHEY just calling Steve onto the forehand. Just trying to beat or promote his own bowl. Looks to be a little bit of a high line.
Just ringing through there, Benny. He wasn't too
Wait.
far away.
Let's wait to match the bowls of Jason's behind. Just that touch wide. Probably good weight if he was looking to turn his own bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%. Markers and volunteers have done an awesome job with us this week as well. They give up their time to be with us, and Kangaroo Fight's done a great job as well, giving us good lunch orders and drinks behind the bar. And
Yeah, we were talking about
it was
before
great.
with Sammy about how accessible this venue is.
Yeah.
Nice and easy access from the car parks across the flat grounds. Completely flat walk from off the greens into the clubhouse. Minimal ramps, no steps around.
No.
Which for some of our wheelchair bowlers that we've had here and walkers and otherwise, it makes it handy. No doubt you find that advantageous for you, Lucas, and your ability to get around the place.
Correct. Yeah, no, it's easier for me, and Kangaroo Fight's been great. It's good, and
great bowl there from Ben Peachy.
And the greens are running well as well. So what more can you ask, I suppose?
It's of course the kind of things that we look for when we talk about host venues for events in the para community. How much space is there around greens? Can we have, say, 2 walkers or 2 wheelchairs go side by side in opposite directions past each other?
Yep.
Is there plenty of space to get ramps on and off the greens? How well do you transition from the greens to the clubhouse?
Yep.
Is there plenty of space around where if we have a room with 7, 8, 9 walkers and a couple of wheelchairs and some people using crutches that we can all interact safely in the same space and have a good experience throughout? And Kangaroo Flat is a venue that does that better than most.
Yeah, nah, 100%.
KRSLOVIC trying to play underneath and trail the jackals hit the bowl there, but in the process promoted Ben Peachy's bowl for a second shot.
Coming here the first time last year was a great experience, and being around easier access. It was it was a clear view of where we need to be for our state champs.
Be interesting to see whether that last bowl of Ben's has got in. I favour it has.
So I'll put an update with the other scores if you like, Glenn.
Yeah, go for it,
I've got Barry Brennan 17 and net 5. JT and Ross Higgins 10 all. Oh, hang on, there's popping a board over here. Something 3. Give us a couple of minutes. Oh, here we go. I'm going to go with Natalie and Joanna 12-3 up after 8.
I think Annette Ruffles just saved match, by the way. Barry Brennan was leading 17-5, appeared to be holding 4, and I think she's cut 1 out. They're going to have a good look at it, though. That could be our first finalist through. I'll notify you of that shortly. Of course, we'll be bringing you the B78 singles final shortly after this match concludes. The winner of Barry Brennan and Annette Ruffle will play the winner of Josh Thornton and Ross Higgins. That'll be streamed. Of course, all of our streaming supported by Dandenong Club and Moama Bowling Club. Great supporters of our streaming and allowing us to bring you the State Para Champs streaming for the first ever time. Steve Nelson with wonderful weight there. Now, we were talking about it before, Lucas. The winner of this game, although it's sectional play, whoever wins this will take away the competition. Frank and Ben sitting 2-0. Sorry, Frank and Jason sitting 2-0. Ben and Steve sitting with 1 win and 1 draw.
Wow.
Of course, if the match is a draw, then Frank and Ben will win. Sorry, Frank and Jason. Looking at the two of them down there, standing next to each other.
Side by side, yeah.
Yep. Steve Nelson leading well again. He's probably just had the edge over Jason in recent ends, and that's been responsible for the results they've had. Frank's been playing some good conversion bowls while down, but Ben's been drawing the lights out at the same time. Just as we say that, Jason trails the jack back and makes all of his own bowls look better.
Correct, yep.
Nice shot there for Benny, though. Can sit the blue bowl of Jason's, can trail the jack into Steve.
Just reading through the comments there, Glenn. I got a congratulations off Gail Edwards, back-to-back win. You're a champion. We'll need to get your autograph.
Yeah, of course, Gail had a fantastic year as well. Very heavily involved up at State Championships week over at Bendigo East.
Yeah.
The other week.
And thanks, Gail. And Lynn Baker saying good morning. Fantastic to see the Paras on the live stream. Yes, you're 100% right, Lynn.
Lenny always happy to see plenty of support for Eastern Rangers players.
Yes, definitely.
Also one of them on the stream at the moment with Jason Barrett from Heathmont. That's another thing about the para community. We watch this match here now and we've got 4 different regions represented playing with each other as teammates. Jason
Correct.
at Eastern Rangers playing with Steve from West Coast. Frank at Peninsula. Ben at Strzelecki. Another lovely draw shot there from Frank KRSLOVIC.
Playing well, Frank. He's obviously won the fours a couple of weeks back. So, yes.
Won the fours, played I think the semis of the mixed pairs.
That's right, yep.
Ben in a good area here. Can sit the bowl or trail the jack. Gets
Great
the jack
bowl
through
there,
to
Benny.
Steve's bowl
Great
and makes
bowl.
3. Little bit of showmanship, puts the arms out for the crowd. And Frank's playing weight straight at it. He's calling for Jack and kills it.
And got the set.
Respot will go to Jason Barrett. One shot to Jason Barrett with a couple of massive bowls back to back there. And we are back to a 3-shot margin after 9 ends. 4 ends to play here. We're in for a tight finish, Lucas.
Yes, we are. Have you got a winner in this, Glenn? Can you pick someone?
Oh, it's hard to say, and with what we've seen so far, I mean, both skips have played fantastic bowls. It's hard to go against the side that's got the lead, but obviously Frank's been in plenty of big game moments recently. Steve Nelson just trying to navigate Jason Barrett's bowl there. Gets around it. Just hangs on to the playing surface. As Jason changes hands to avoid his own bowl. It's a good changeover as well.
Great bowl by Jace.
Finishing 18 inches past.
That's just more like saying a foot, right? Glenn?
No, 1.5 feet, 18
Foot and a half?
inches.
Okay.
Mate, if you can fit your foot between that, then you must be wearing size 17s.
Rightio.
Oh, nice weight correction from Steve there. Just caught Jason's bowl. He's probably going to have to play the other hand now.
Another good bowl from Jace.
Yeah, brilliant line.
Hopefully Benny gets on close here.
Of course. Changing hands. Tough to find that line. Needs to clear that.
No.
Take some of the sting out of it. Of course. Goff Nelson in the chat.
Better brother out of the two, I would have thought.
Yeah.
The better brother out of the two.
Yeah. He was up at State Champs Week as well, playing the, I believe in the fours there.
And Jeff.
That's Trevor's brother. And Steve's uncle. Frank just falling shy there. One of the looser heads that we've seen in a little while, but plenty of space still for Ben to try and draw the shot. He's going to play the forehand side. There is a bit of traffic. Can get Steve's bowl up or Jack underneath, but needs to be weight perfect. Weight's fairly good. Just needs to be brave enough to get that a little bit closer to Steve's bowl. Frank with a better one here.
Not far away, is it?
No, it'll be in the count. Perfect
Great
weight.
weight.
3 feet wide.
Sit on there, Benny.
Certainly getting closer to that bowl of Steve's this time. Promoting it would help, but doesn't want the split. He's cut it back to 1. It's just the blue bowl directly behind the jack of Jason Barrett's that's shot now.
Oh,
So we see Sam multitasking in the background with the camera. Frank gets the little
get
rub,
a
slides all the
friendly
way
roll
up to
in. Friendly roll, that one.
2 shots here to the combination of Jason Barrett and Frank KRSLOVIC. Ben's pinched his line. Doesn't want to turn that in. And there's going to be 1 shot in it as we move into the last few ends of this matchup.
Tell you what, one thing's for sure with these ID players, that you'd surely get a good laugh when these are around. There's a lot of funny comments that are sneaking around. It's hard to concentrate on your game when you have a bit of a giggle to yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's what brings the good
We're
energy.
certainly hearing plenty of that with Joe Lomagno in the background. Absolute firecracker. Calls a spade a spade.
Yep.
You know exactly what she's thinking as a bowl's coming down. But gets as excited as anyone when she's winning and playing well. Steve's just not sent this one. I think I've put the mods on him since I mentioned that he'd had the better of Jason for a few ends there. He's just dropped off that little bit. Of course, Jason and Frank going back to that longer length that they'd been electing to play.
Good shot, Jace.
He just wraps around the back of the jack. Gives Steve a target to play right the way down to. Appears to have sent this one further than his last. Needs the inside of that, not the outside. If it stays on, it'll be in the game, and it has. Yeah. For updates from the other games, Natalie Brennan and Aaron Gumbleton lead. Sorry, Natalie Brennan and Jo Magno lead Aaron Gumbleton and Nick Whitford 3-14.
Right.
Oh, sorry, 14-3.
14-3.
Ross Higgins has taken the lead against Josh Thornton, leads 14-13. And Barry Brennan is one shot away, leads 20-6 over Annette Ruffle, though Annette does hold shot currently.
Maybe 2 from my angle. Poor old yesterday, Annette Ruffle had to play her husband in Rob Ruffle
I
yesterday.
can see that. Of course, random draws in the in the state champs. So they get broken into the big pool of B7-8 competitors, and I don't believe it was just Rob. I think I had a third Heathmont teammate in that section with Glenn Glowry as well.
Correct.
GG.
Yeah. GG.
And to really mix up, I think the fourth player in that section was Alison Hall, who is Annette's teammate in the pairs and plays in the
AO
Victorian Para State side with her. They play a lot of events together, and then drawn against a most common teammate in para events, and against her husband as well as a clubmate in that section.
Yeah. Yeah. Alison East, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Alison East, not Alison Hall. Mixing my Alisons up.
The pressure has really piled on now with Frank and Jason, so hopefully Benny here can play a bomb and keep this game moving. Not far away.
Steve's excited about it.
Oh,
Gets the shot
stiff.
bowl out, but it's still going to be 4 down.
Frank does not hesitate, just gets on with it.
He catches the front bowl of Steve Nelson's. Up and down as to whether that's a 5th shot or not. Just going to apologise as we've got that wind rolling through that you can no doubt hear through the mics. Ben Peachy needs to play a big one here. 4 or 5 down. Needs the jack. He's not going to get it. And it will be a match-changing count. Steve and Ben have led since end 1. As we're getting to the pointy end, 4 shots to Jason and Frank will turn this match on its head. With 2 ends to play.
James Brady's got a good comment in. What's for lunch today, Lucas? Well, good one, James, because I'm going to have to ask my mum that because it's her birthday today. So whatever she decides, I'll have to pay for. So I just hope we're not going to Crown for lunch. But it's a big, very expensive lunch. But nah, it's her day. So it'll be good to get out for lunch after a long week. So yeah, and then we're looking forward to a long break and on the Queensland on the Gold Coast in June. So, right, you Glenn, you going to the Gold Coast for the AO this year?
No,
Or?
not this year.
No.
It's been a number of years since I have, but after the last little while with Vic Open Interstate Champs into events like this, I do try and enjoy my off-season as much as possible. And
Yep.
get away from the game just for a little while. And when you're working in it 5 days a week, good to take a little bit of a mental refresher and put the bowls in the cupboard and reintroduce myself to Ebony and say, yes, I'm here and I do live, and see the family again, and not become the non-stop bowler that happens at other times in life.
And watch his Essendon, of course, Glenn.
Yes.
Don't forget that. Now,
Lovely bowl there from Steve Nelson.
Little birdie tells me, and I'm going to dob him in because apparently it was Tony Sherrill told me that apparently I gave him the flick because we actually played together at the AO last year. And definitely not true. I asked him, said, you're going to play in the AO this year? And he said, look, can't get time off. You can find a better player than me. And I thought, well, I don't know about that. But
Steve Nelson with another good one here.
So, Tony, if you're listening, I'm still missing you.
2 good bowls from Steve there, which is what they need after dropping that 4.
Great bowls there by
First time all
Stevie.
match that Ben and Steve haven't led. With 2 ends to go, we could be in for an all-time finish.
Extra end. Could it be?
No, sectional play, so the draw will stand, and if we do get a draw, then Frank and Jason will be our champions, which would be
Back to back.
back to back for them, yeah. Frank calling for Jack, and he's got it. It's wedged on Steve Nelson's bowl and stayed nearly where it was.
Wasn't far away.
No. He's got a toucher in the ditch, though, so if he goes again, there's certainly the bowls there. Ben trying to
Ben not
cover.
far away.
Nah, he's trying to cover the back.
Not
Knows
a
that he's
smart
4
move,
down
actually.
if the jack does go in the pit. Probably only 1 down now if it does get right the way through.
And has the tee as well.
Yes. Jason calling for Frank to tone it back to the draw, which he's
Not
done
far
well
away.
here. Asks
Great
for it
bowl.
to hang by and does enough to get shot out of it after the little rub off Steve Nelson's bowl. Oh, Tony is listening. He's giving you the heart in the chat. So that just raises the question, now that we know that Tony's listening, who is the better player that you've gotten to play with?
I've got Leon Vicule. So he actually
okay.
plays at Heathmont with me.
Yeah. Oh, great effort from Ben there. Unfortunately takes out both of their own bowls and leaves them 3 down.
So it's actually his first time going to the AO, Leon. So, yeah, it'd be nice to have a game with him. And, yeah, it was hard to find a replacement off Tony because it was very tough. But, no, it was nice that Leon could play. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Draws another onto it. He does widen the target, but just going to take a moment and assess here. Of course, 3 down.
Goes down and have a look, which is a
Only
great
1 end
idea.
left after this, and the draw would mean that Frank and Jason win. There is a shot that can be played where if they can spring the jack 6 feet out to the right, they've got 3 catches there. Ben's bowl and both of Steve's. But it is weight critical. They do also own the re spot if they play bigger weight and the jack kills. Another Heathmont in the chat. Craig Bryant chopping in, talking about Leon having broad shoulders, trying to carry you, Lucas.
Come on, Craig. Gee.
And Leon is a very good player. Part of the Eastern Rangers side that won the silver tier competition at this year's competition. course.
Hard enough carrying Craig Bryan in the club pairs, but anyway, but it was a good team effort. But I think this shot here for Benny, I think he has to try and get onto that yellow one near the jack, spring it out. I think it's the only option they've pretty much got. They couldn't really get on the other end.
Yeah, good things can happen either way. If it springs 4 to 6 feet, then they can make a few depending on where Frank's bowl follows to. If they manage to kill it and get it on the tee, that
They're
works
going
as
to
well.
turn
But
back
he's
enough.
on a high line. It's a wonderful weight.
Oh, great
Cuts it
effort.
back to 1 down.
Not a bad shot there by Benny. Wasn't too
Just
far
confirm
away.
it's 1 down, but that's what it appears to be from there. And with that, the match will, and the championship will remain alive for the last end. Of course, any score to Jason and Frank, they'll go back to back. If it's a 4 and the match is drawn, Jason and Frank will also win. It's going to be 5 shots required for Steve and Ben to try and wrestle this title away.
Scores around the grounds. We've got Annette, Barry Brennan 20, Annette Ruffle 11.
Man, had a good comeback there. She's working away.
Doing very well.
As Barry's just promoted one of his own bowls in for shot, so he's now holding match. Ross Higgins leading Josh Thornton 15-14. Josh currently
One
holding
bowl to
3
come.
shots though.
Yeah.
Ross about to play his last bowl.
And Natalie and Joanna 18. And Mick. And so what was late?
Erin,
yeah,
3.
3 after 11.
Steve Nelson with a solid starter here, just inside Jason's bowl.
Great bowl there by
That's what you need
Stevie.
to do if they're going to make the 5 required for the win.
And I just want a quick shout out while I'm on
put
the
his into
live
the pit, which will also help with the cause for making that number that they need.
on the live stream. While I'm on the live stream, Glenn, I just want a big shout out to JR, Ian Ewan, who's our state coach, but in our Aussie squad is our pathways coach as well. So yeah, big thanks to JR
with
for all
some
his
more
help
early
he's done
pressure.
for me and the rest of us. So yeah, I forgot to thank him in my speech yesterday. But
Did he remind you of that, or?
he actually did,
Oh,
actually.
there we go. So, Ben saying that Steve's still got the shot. Not sure whether it's 1 or 2, but they're going about things the right way to make the 5 shots they'll require if they're going to win this match. Playing the last end as we speak. And another very good bowl from Steve Nelson, and a little touch on the way as Ben Peachy walks back with the chalk.
And I'm pretty sure. Wait, hang on. Maybe not.
Appears that Barry Brennan may have just secured the match
Yeah.
with Annette.
Yeah, Barry
And we-
Brennan win 21-11.
And we have our first finalist for the B7 and 8 singles. Of course, we'll be streaming that final shortly after completion of this match. Frank KRSLOVIC playing good weight but missing narrow with his first. Ben Peachy needing to slow down, lands the bowl, which is okay. Two and a look. Frank's bowl with that jack movement may actually be in the count now. And another Classy bowl from Frank there. It's now becoming a challenge of how to make 5 shots out of this for Ben and Steve. Ben's got to a good position, but it's going to take something special to craft 5 shots out of this head.
And all that Frank needs to do now is just get another one in there. I think just put as much pressure on as
Well, just park it in
possible, I
between a few different bowls of Steve and Ben's. Put it in the middle of the pack so there's nowhere they can make the number. At the moment, there is a shot to try and play through and poke Frank's bowl out and the bowl of Jason at the same time.
Yep.
And hang around, but relying on a few different things moving and falling the right way. Of course, sectional play. Frank and Jason 2-0. Steve and Ben, 1 win, 1 draw. They need the win to get through. A draw will not be enough. 5 shots required playing the last end of the game. The only shot I can see is big swinging weight at Frank's bowl that's short of the jack. Punch that through Jason's bowler as well and then hope to hang around. They've got enough other bowls in the area that if you can remove those 2 and stay, you'd be having the measure for the number at least. All down to this for
come on, Benny.
Ben Peachy.
You can do it. Benny's just having
Just seen some movement behind the mat as Steve's drifted around. Steps off, resets himself. Good practice for any bowler out there. He's playing that backhand side. Close to that bowl that he needs to sit and just slides underneath it. It'll be 1 shot to the Ben Peachy and Steve Nelson combination, but with that, they'll shake hands as Jason Barrett and Frank KRSLOVIC win the match 13-10, and with winning that match, secure back-to-back para-intellectual pairs titles. Congratulations, Jason and Frank. Of course, we will be back with you shortly for the B7, B8 singles final. We know one of those finalists, that will be Barry Brennan, who'll be coming up against the winner of Josh Thornton and Ross Higgins. Josh currently leading 16-15 in an arm wrestle battle. I'm going to thank Lucas Prater-Pappas for jumping on commentary with me.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
Josh on the decks. As always, thank Dandenong Club and Moama, our streaming partners, and we will see you soon.